blind, we're not the lost. Walked on straight from my bed. We'll never look back. We're not the blind, we are the ones that face the mistakes that we make. We won't turn away. We're not the blind, we're not the lost.
Life we have chosen, soldiers to a common war we fight, to this passion of love we may fair and die. I'm slipping further, we're falling faster, we're growing stronger. Let's not grow weaker than I know. You break me down and you
Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Once again, new series for us here, the Midwest Days of Thunder Cup Series. Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. This is Rocky Game 150 brought to you by Jinx Shifters. Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Jason over here, Signature Esports at One.
Hello from New York. We're here at the Watkins Glen Raceway road course racing here in these Cup cars tonight. We are here proudly sponsored by the Kitschy Kitchen Shop. You can find them on Facebook. I'm not sure if they've got a website, but
Etsy, they're on Etsy.
Etsy, they have Etsy. If you need to glamify your kitchen, that is a place to go. And as you can kind of hear there, I am not alone in this booth. That is Mr. Alan English here with me. Alan, how you feeling about today?
Man, good. I'm excited to see some road course action here at Watkins Glen. As you mentioned, upstate New York. This is the premier raceway up there. They always get a big, good crowd up here. Cup cars, IMSA, it doesn't matter what they're racing out here, what track configuration. But on the Cup configuration today, obviously, 7 turns, every one of them completely different from the other. So it's gonna be fun. These guys need to remember where they're at on the track, and as long as they do that, I think they're gonna have a good race.
And down there on pit road, he has managed to successfully find another road course, and that would be Mr. Adam Turner. Adam, how do you feel about making right-hand turns?
Well, I mean, it's kind of cool. The track is super hot, so that should make it interesting. But I've done a little math here, and there's 7 chances to turn somebody. So you know what I like to see, a little action. So there's 7 chances for some action for people to get angry, and that may happen tonight. Little tempers may flare, but because most of these guys, they're racing turning left all the time, and now we're throwing the right turns in the mix. So I think it's gonna be fun.
That indeed. As we do take a look at what this track looks like, as you can see, not your typical oval, because it's not an oval. We still do circuits, however, there are right-hand turns. Beautiful weather out here today in New York. A little warm, but not too bad. And our key to the race today is going to be consistency. I got a feeling our top drivers that we're going to see finish this thing are going to be the ones that really don't make that many mistakes.
Yeah, looking at our roster today, a couple of these guys really stand out as far as road course racing goes. You guys know because we've raced with them for years, but Greg Klein and Eric Fiorello, a couple of road course ringers. These guys love running on road. William Brown's another one of them guys that he was making some decent laps out there. So just take a look through the field as these guys are running, and reach out to us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Let us know who your favorite driver is and who you think could be an upset guy here at the road course.
Yeah, can't count out Manny Valdez or Lance Hill either. Those guys seem to find their way to the front no matter the track. So yeah, it should be a good battle. I don't think we have 0 fast repairs. So that's not going to be an issue. And I don't think we're going to get any full course cautions unless something totally crazy happens. So we should rip through this fairly quickly.
Yeah, we have a little bit longer of a qualifying time available to these drivers here today because it is a road course and it takes a little bit longer to get around here. So we got 10 minutes of time to get a couple of laps in here as we're kind of riding along here with Pete Van Sprundle as he takes his outlap, getting ready to go on to his first time lap, coming through that final turn. And you'll see these drivers get closer and closer to that kind of tire barrier on that outside, especially as they start pushing.
Yeah, it looks like we got some clouds out there, Adam. I'm seeing some clouds like down in turn 1 and kind of coming up the S's, and we've got some sunshine on other parts of the track. So consistency for the drivers maybe, but maybe a little bit of the inconsistency on some of these turns if the weather doesn't really cooperate.
Yeah, that could cause a problem if one track is cool or one corner is cooler than the other. And, you're gonna have to learn through it as a driver. Old Sneaky Pete, he's from New York, is he not?
He is.
Track?
Yeah, he's from Long Island, I believe.
About I would say probably about a 3.5 hour drive, depending on traffic.
He's in
traffic up there.
Yeah, he's into Where's the Beef car again.
Nice.
You got to be old enough to appreciate that, and I am.
Now,
Manny Valdez, man, you called it.
Woo!
13:62, smoking.
that is a quick time as we head up the S's here with Manny. We're going to jump into his cockpit and just kind of see what this track is like. And Man, it is not the smoothest track out there, and it is very, very fast for being a road course.
Well, you mentioned, the reason they get 10 minutes here is, that outlap, that first minute and 20 seconds or so, that's basically thrown away. So, if you want to make more than one qualifying run in that period, you're going to have to do another outlap. So, they give them a little bit extra time.
Yeah, it looks like you're going to need it. I was watching Tabor Mowry in the 5 Bush car. Looks like he's got a new Bush paint, actually. He was having a little bit of trouble slowing it down into that bus stop, and it might have screwed up his qualifying run.
As Manny comes across the line one more time. And still
did not improve, yeah.
Well, he can't improve. He's already at the top.
Well, I mean, he didn't
he can
get
improve
a
in
faster
time,
time than he did before.
Greg Klein putting in a pretty good lap there himself, but still, almost a second down.
Yeah.
Well, you talked about the key of the race, consistency. I mean, you can run a really fast lap in qualifying, but Adam, doesn't it say something if you can run a 1:15 or a 1:16 over and over and over and over again?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. But if the kid, number 72, the fastest chicken in the South, Manny Valdez, if he can perform like that, run a 1:14, and he's in the front with no traffic ahead of him for miles, that's going to bode well for him.
He'd just be racing the track at that point.
Right. And that's where he has to focus if he gets to that point, because if he starts looking in that rearview mirror or starts watching the relative, it may cause him to make some mistakes, and those guys will pounce on him behind him.
So William Brown comes across the line one final time, and you can see him as he's approaching this turn one. You're going to see a lot of people go wide there, especially this first lap, to make sure that they stay out of any problems. And I mean, let's just face it, these Cup cars don't really have the same brakes that you would see on like a GT3 car. So they need all that extra braking room.
Absolutely, and you need a good lap to warm those tires up because they're going to be junk on that first lap.
So we follow around here with Lance Hill. We saw kind of an unfortunate end for his race last week at Martinsville, but of course that was a just bloodbath boiling over there at the end, and that's kind of what happens at short tracks. But we're now here at a road track with some open space, so I don't think we're going to see too many issues here as he finishes up his qualifying effort, currently sitting in second. As Justin Malarkey going hard through those S's and hitting that wall.
Yep. These guys got to be careful. They can't do that in the race. Remember, like y'all mentioned, no fast repairs. You might be stuck in that backwards facing pit road for quite a while if you get some required damage.
Yeah, they're talking. I'm listening in. They're talking about advancing the session, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen or not. Just keeping it FYI.
Well, it looks like
on top of it.
Looks like for the most part, people who want to put in a lap have. I don't know if anybody else is just...
Pete Van Sprundel's still out there riding around. He's actually coming into the pits now. That's the last car I have seen. That might be it.
Yeah, I am willing to say for the cars that want to put a time and try to get a good starting position here, I think they have all done that.
Yeah, the Kitschy Kitchen Shop. How many miles? 147? Is that what we calculated?
Yeah, 147 miles. That's correct.
Wow. That's going to be a long time on the track.
Yeah, 60 laps.
Lance Hill got a fan on YouTube right now. Colin's saying Lance is going to get it done tonight. Lance will win. confident words
Well, look how
from a
close he is.
confident man.
Look how close he is to Manny. Those two, they may end up
Oh, yeah.
wrecking each other. They're not going to. I take that back. Manny getting out front. He's not going to get out front with Lance like that right behind him. So
I mean,
that'll be a
Lance,
battle.
Lance is one of those guys that doesn't really matter if it's a road course, short course, super speed. He's going to be somewhere in the front towards the end. So we'll keep an eye out. Looks like we're gridding up.
Looks like we are, as just waiting on our cars to take the grid. We will do your official grid rundown, as we're going to have a long pace lap here, so we got some time to actually talk about these guys and even talk about the championship. As of right now, you got Manny Valdez winning pole position here today. He's currently sitting at third with a couple wins in the championship, so he is safely in, with Lance Hill going to be on his outside. Lance also in that top 5 with 3 wins, so he is definitely in this championship.
Oh, yeah.
William Brown, the 4th, is going to be starting in 3rd, and as of right now, I believe he is not in, so he needs a good... he is in. He has 2 wins on the season.
Yes.
So he is in with Eric Fiorello up there in 2nd. He's 21 points behind Justin Malarkey, who's the current leader, but he has no wins, so look for him to maybe pick up a win here today. Greg Klein is starting here in 5th with, like we said, the points leader, Justin Malarkey, starting in 6th. We got Anthony Fry in that 64 car starting here in 7th, with Alan Dixon in 8th. It looks like it'll be Taver Mowry starting in 9th, and your final top 10 car is going to be Mike Simone.
28 of Gary Sargent, rolling off 11th with a pretty solid time, still in the 15s. The 80 of Sneaky Pete Van Sprundle starting in 12th. The 70 of Stephen McComas rolling off 13th. And the 8 of John Neidick rounding out your top 14.
There you go. Number 16 in 15th place, Corey Wakefield from Maine. Number 96, Derek Schimmel. His wife owns the Kitschy Kitchen Shop, I believe, so she's the title sponsor of the race. The Kitschy Kitchen Shop. He's driving the car too.
Thanks, Rihanna.
16. Another Maine guy, Michael Pempere, number 17. The North-South Racing teammate of, I think, Mike Simone is Matt Forns out of Washington State. I believe he's in the Rainier Beer car again, in 18th position.
Yeah, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that Rainier car has been not too bad for him so far. So
Pretty good luck, yeah.
as they kind of finish up going through that bus stop, heading down into the carousel. And I believe, is this called the short shoot?
I believe it is. You go from the carousel and down that short chute into turn 6, which there's not a lot of banking right here up in 6, and you really got to kind of be careful here. Get it down to, I think most guys get it down to 2nd gear. I like to ride 3rd gear through there just so I don't get back to the gas too hard and spin it. But Here they come up on turn 7, getting ready.
Getting ready through the final turn. Pace car is going to peel off down into pit road. Expect no cautions here today unless something absolutely disastrous happens. But unless that happens, green flag's waving, and away we go, and off and running. Lance and Manny going 2 wide down into turn 1, checking it way up, still side by side. It looks like
Sneaky Pete had some problems.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's all right, as the 72 just barely clears Lance as they come up those S's and onto that kind of back straightaway where these guys are going to catch a lot of speed as they kind of all roughly single file out.
Pretty much the only time they'll see Top Gear right there is right before they get into this interloop or bus stop, as it's called. I'm glad to see most everybody made it through turn 1. You saw Pete Van Spruntle in the 80 kind of overrun it a little bit, but that's why that overrun area is there, to stay safe and stay out of a wreck.
That first turn is a pain. I mean, it's tough.
Every time, man.
We're going to see some more of that, and luckily for Pete Van Spruntle, he's back in it, so he'll be okay.
Michael Simone, another one of those guys, kind of jumped the curb, but he kept his wits about him and didn't get too far off the track and didn't hit anybody or anything. So
as these guys complete the first lap.
That didn't take too long. Let's do it 59 more times, boys.
As we look back here, a fight for the top 10 spot. You got John Neidick, Mike Simone, all of them trying to figure something out here. As we also got a battle behind them between, looks like Gary Sargent and Derek Schimmel also having a little battle going on.
Derek Schimmel, as we mentioned, his wife Rhiannon is the race sponsor tonight. Kitschy Kitchen Shop got a custom paint running tonight, I believe, for Kitschy Kitchen Shop.
Yeah.
Go check them out on Etsy. She makes some pretty neat kitchen aprons and other things, and just pretty much any kind of pattern you can imagine for holidays or special occasions, whatever you got, or whatever your imagination is pretty much the limit. Go out and go ahead and check them out. Kitschy Kitchen Shop on Etsy.
All I heard was Fleetwood Mac. That's what it sounded. Her name, that's Fleetwood Mac. Oh, somebody gets turned there by Van Spruntle. Corey Wakefield.
Ooh, Pete in the grass, but keeps it from spinning.
Yeah, they kept it together. Sorry, I'm just kind of looking. Oh, Corey Wakefield looks like he hit could take a little bit.
Little replay of what happened. Looked like Corey having a little bit of an issue there, and Pete Van Spruntle did a good thing on checking up, and then looks like Stephen McComas just recently had an issue as well.
These guys know it's early. They're going to give each other kind of the benefit of the doubt, kind of give each other some room here.
Yeah, Corey Wakefield's in the pits right now. He also cooked it coming out of turn 7. Something's wrong with his car. He'll get it fixed.
Yeah, the 70 of McComas just going too far into turn 1 and hit those tires. So he's got a little bit of damage now, but he's back there in the pack, and we'll check in on him later and kind of see how he makes out.
Well, Dixon up a spot. He's got a pretty solid car right now. Just watched him go around the carousel there and holding his position there.
Manny opening up a somewhat comfortable margin of about 3/4 of a second on Lance right now. But don't look now. We got the 27 of Simone and Taver Mowry going at it for 10th right now. As looks like Simone is able to take that position away.
State Mike, he's going to have some problems with that 8 car in front of him. John Neidick Jr. in that 8. He is up 5 positions. So far, your hard charger of the race.
Yeah, trying to make a position on him it's not going to be easy. He's not going to give any ground, I wouldn't think.
As we saw last week in the race on the short course, John's not afraid to mix it up out there on the track. So, yeah, good luck, boys, trying to get around that 8 car tonight.
As looks like Mike Simone going around Anthony Fry there for position through that carousel. So he's finding himself in a pretty good car right now.
They're just kind of, doing their thing, clicking their laps. Nobody's working harder than the real Mrs. Poindexter yet,
Not yet. Yeah, she works hard.
Yeah, she does. Makes a lot of money doing it, too. So, hey, I think everybody seems like they want to be...
Oh, as we got contact.
64 and the 96. Derek's going to be pretty angry about that one.
I thought we were all going to be friends, but yeah, it doesn't look pretty back there.
So you can see
Garrett.
the 96 shooting up the inside, trying to overtake the 5 and the 64 in one go, and drove a little too deep. So, aggressive driving from the 96.
Yeah, the 96 in the Kitschy Kitchen shop car, he just came over the radio and said, "Man, I'm really sorry, Tony." He was talking to the 64 Anthony Fry. Derek, classy guy, he took responsibility for that, manned up, came on the radio, apologized.
Yeah, man, now we're kind of spread out. I'm just looking, seeing who's doing what at the moment. Looks like Greg Klein's still P4. He's battling it out. He'll be consistent for sure. So that may pay off in the end for him.
If we know anything about Greg and Eric, is a couple of guys that really know how to save some tires, especially on a road course. So don't count out the 92 or the 25 tonight.
Angry Idiots, and they're doing pretty well, I believe, in the overall team standings. They're sitting second place right now behind Latte Motorsports.
As we see Greg and Eric both running up that short chute down into that bus stop. Eric currently in 5th and quite a ways behind, but looks like a battle heating up here at the front. You got Lance right on the tail of Manny. Looks like he's trying to peek into that inside before that second to last corner. And no, he'll back out of it just a little bit and stay behind. And man, these guys, they've opened up a massive gap. That 5 seconds to third.
That P1, P2 battle, that's not over, man. That's going to continue the next few turns, I'm sure.
And I know someone hoping for this battle to continue. That's going to be William Brown. He's solidly there in 3rd with Greg Klein behind him. Any time that those two in front of them are battling it out should bring them closer back to the field. But as of right now, it's kind of a 2-car runaway.
Yeah, not only that.
He ran wide right there in coming out of 5. I'm sorry there, Adam.
No, that's okay. I'm just saying, not only that, they're wearing their tires down, We've seen this from these two before. Man, Hill is trying to get inside of him, and he does. Looks like he's trying to.
As John Neidick is also trying to overtake Alan Dixon as well as that battle's going on. As John sneaks up to the inside and gets the pass completed, exiting
31
that bus
lifted.
stop.
Yep. 31 lifted and let him go. But that ain't over yet either. He said, "Oh, I'll let you go for now because it's lap 7." Maybe not. Maybe won't do that on lap 57.
I believe they actually did shorten this race just a little bit, so it is 55 laps long, not the full 60 that we were expecting.
Oh, well.
Did not
have
know
to
that.
Recalculate our our miles, won't we?
Throw in pit mileage and this and that.
Yeah, it's close enough for government work.
As that battle up there for the lead is still full on engaged as Lance and Manny both absolutely drilled those.
There he goes again.
Up the inside through that carousel. That's kind of where you want to be. Does he get the run off to complete it completely? No. Yes, he does. He got him. So
Yeah.
Lance Hill going to be your new leader. As you saw, both of them attack those curbs, sending those cars bouncing and bounding.
Worked this time, didn't it, Adam?
Yeah, it was the exact same maneuver, and he tried last lap, and Manny held on, but not this time. But like you said, it is now lap 9, so long way to go.
You guys have both driven this track. What's the most challenging part of this track for you guys?
For me, it is turn 1. It's getting your car slowed up and turned into turn 1. That's typically where I lose most of my time.
Yeah, every time I come out of the S's, the last turn and a half up there, pretty much of the S's, trying to get power back down to it. That's where I screw up every time.
Yeah, I'd go with all those and turns 1 through 7 for me. It's a challenge,
The
dude.
whole track.
Yeah, it's tough. Like
Yeah,
you
it
said,
is.
I run in third gear too, and it helps me keep my pace and not crash. I mean, but these guys are actually trying to win this thing.
As we see Mike Simone attacking those curbs, trying to chase down Alan Dixon. Looks like he does get there, and Alan Dixon's going to whoa up again and let the car go through, going into that carousel. So Mike Simone having a nice run here up into 7th.
He's still where he started. I mean, he's still in 8th place. He really hasn't given anything up. He notices the faster cars coming, and he's letting them go right there. That's the second time we've seen him let a car go right there at the entry of the carousel. So Alan Dixon, I think he's just the 31 car. He's just laying back. He's waiting for his moment to strike later on.
And Gary Sargent finds his way up into that top 10, passing Justin Malarkey. And man, we've seen Malarkey do some great things on the oval tracks, but right now he has been struggling quite a bit here on the road course.
Yeah,
I was watching. Oh, Sergeant gets loose. I'm sorry.
Oh, baby.
Ooh, as
Baby.
Forns was able to whoa it up in time to get around him.
I was right there with you watching that, Brown. I was going to say you're on top of everything. I don't even need to be here, but
He's there.
yeah, Malarkey. I think he's better at turning left, but hey, there's a lot of guys that are. So he'll feel himself out, and you never know what can happen here. He's P10. He's back in the top 10.
As we take a look, as Greg Klein has closed that gap just a little bit on William Brown. So these two are running about the same pace. Looks like Greg just a little bit quicker that last lap. We'll see how they look as they come across this line this time. And Greg again, just a little quicker, about a 1/10 and a half.
Yeah, looks like he's just trying to stay with the 48 right now. Maybe one of those situations where you're faster than him, you're just waiting for him to make a mistake.
Yeah, I think number 80, Pete Van Sprundle, he might be down in the pits eating a Wendy's hamburger right now because he hadn't come out of there, and I don't know what's wrong with his.
Oh,
his
as
car, but
Corey
he's still
Wakefield has another issue. Let's take a replay of that. Coming into that second to last corner and getting sideways across the track, and didn't hit anything. Looks like he's had another issue again.
Yep, he's trying to get into the pits, or he did this earlier. He's having a tough time with that car.
You can see he does have some hood damage, so that car may not be handling the way it first started to. And
yeah, turn 7 for him is tough. That was the second time that happened, so I think he's happy just to stay out of everybody's way.
as Lance Hill has opened up a 2-second gap on Manny here, so Lance Hill has been absolutely dominating here, especially once when he got by Manny. I mean, we saw those two battle it out for a good 5 laps, and now they're in some open air. If anything, Lance Hill's actually now catching up onto some lap traffic.
Yeah, he's got Steve McComas up here in front of him. It's not an obligation for these cars about to go a lap down to let that leader around. According to league rules, they are able to fight for their position and keep themselves on the lead lap, but there's only so much you can do, and eventually, they're going to find their way around you. So.
Yeah, it's a little tight here,
Ooh, Anthony Fry having a little bit of an issue. Went down into turn number 1. Looked like he was all right, and then, oh no! As he came off, hit a little too much gas pedal there, coming off that curve.
Man, he's coming in the pits, it looks like, man.
He absolutely drilled the left side fence, so that is going to hurt quite a bit.
16 stayed out. He went ahead and dodged that cone and stayed out.
Yeah, he was in front of William Brown. William Brown had to pass him. Now Looks like Klein is on Brown's bumper right now.
That he is.
Midwest Days of Thunder. What a league.
As they shoot down into that bus stop chicane. Greg right there on Brown's
He's
bumper, and he
so
got a
much
little.
faster.
He had a little bit of a better exit, but he checked up. Oh no, Mike Pimpere.
Pimp, what are you doing?
Pimpere with an issue. Coming down through turn number 1. This is where we saw Fry lose it. Coming off of there, and man, that car just drove straight right into that right-hand side wall.
Fry's in the pits as well.
So, man, that turn 1 corner is looking pretty slick out there.
Yeah, and good on Stephen McComas to recognize these lead lap cars coming around. We just talked about it a second ago about
Manny Valdez crashed.
what?
Manny Valdez coming through turn 1. Did someone put an oil slick out there or something? Because he hit the same stuff everyone else has. Losing control of the car and hitting one of those walls.
Goodness.
Man, as I guess as these tires are wearing out, that turn 1 is starting to look pretty slick. So that's going to give William Brown and Greg Klein, a chance to overtake. William Brown's going to sneak up the inside, going through that carousel. And Greg Klein just not being able to follow through, but I'm sure he's going to be trying to get past here any second now, too.
So now Lance Hill's he's setting the cruise and just rolling. Uh-oh, McComas is stopped in the bus stop. I don't know what happened there, but it was letting some lap cars around and then, some lead lap cars around, and he just lost it. Something happened.
So William Brown moving all the way to the right-hand side, left-hand side of your screen, to maybe let Manny around, knowing that Manny is quicker by a little bit, but just this two-wide racing is gonna slow them all up.
48 recognized that, and that's why he lifted. He knows the 72 probably has a little bit of damage too. Sorry, Adam.
Yeah, no, I just recognized it was time for the Yahtzee. Wow, Steve McComas went kind of wide there in the gravel.
As Alan Dixon finds himself up onto that bumper taper Mary, as Pete Van Sprundel's coming back out onto the track.
He finished his burger. He probably finished half his fries, and now he's coming out. I'm sure he had quite a bit of damage. He was in the pits for a full 12 minutes.
So now the lead up to first is 15 seconds. So yeah, Lance can just put that thing on cruise control and not worry about time too much. As the battle for third is still pretty, it's calm, but it is close between Greg Klein and William Brown. The 10 of Matt Forens has found his way up to Justin Malarkey, and that's going to be a battle for 10th here, as Matt Forens coming through that short chute right on his tail. Doesn't look like he's going to make a move. He's going to be pretty patient there.
Yeah, and Forens, he's up 7 spots. He's just working guys slow. He's not trying to press the issue with huge runs or big risks. He's riding around back there in that Vitamin R car, just doing what he can to be safe. He's being competitive, though. Don't get me wrong.
As
Talking about competitive, John Nidek's up 8 spots. Still holding down that 6th position. He's been there for a couple of laps, but nobody really challenging him right at the moment.
No, if I'm John, this is kind of where I'd want to be. There's really not anybody slowing me down in front of me, as well as no one trying to push me coming up from behind. So, he's in a pretty good spot where he can just kind of run his race and not worry about too much.
Yeah, we mentioned Fiorello and Klein being a couple of the guys that do a lot of road course racing. They do some endurance racing together, and they're right there together, 5 and 6. They got a little bit of separation between them, but I think if you keep these two guys together, they're gonna not fight each other much, and they're going to help each other trying to work up through this field.
And that is actually 4th and 5th. So,
Oh, my bad. Yep, I'm sorry.
as Greg still just kind of maybe adjusting his hairstyle in that bumper of William Brown, because he's been looking at himself for quite a while here as that gap closes back up again as we head into that bus stop chicane, and Greg is definitely carrying more speed into there.
I'm not sure about that. I think I've got more hair in my ear than Greg has on his head, but he's definitely staying with that 48. Put some pressure on him. I mean, here's what something you can do is just stay with the guy. He's looking, kind of looking inside here.
Looking inside, and it looks like William Brown will challenge him going through that second to last corner and into the last one. They go side by side.
Oh, 48 got loose.
And 48 just got a little bit of loose, so Greg Klein will take that position away from William Brown, finding his way up into third. So now if you're Greg, do you push it to try to get a little bit of a gap, or do you kind of continue at the pace that you've been running?
Roll reversal now. I don't know. I think you just try to concentrate on the track, race the track. Don't worry about the rearview mirror.
Oh, as Greg getting loose at the top of the S's there, so that's going to allow William Brown to come flying right back up, looking to the inside as they go into that bus stop. Greg smartly kind of early checks up on the brakes there and lets them right back around. So all of that hard work that Greg has done has gone away in the matter of a quarter of a lap.
A little bit of sportsmanship there by both of them. But some gamesmanship too. They're playing games with each other, it looks like.
Now let me ask you this, Turner. We've seen a lot of cars have issues exiting turn one. Is that the carnage you expected to see here, or were you expecting these cars to look pretty clean at the end of this?
No, I think most of them are going to be pretty clean. That gravel slows them down, and they're just not close enough to each other to do a bunch of beating and banging. Although that's what I'd like to see. Maybe at the end we'll see some more cool stuff like that. But no, look, William Brown got a little wide there.
Oh, he did.
Using every single inch of that track. So Greg Klein's going to be right on his bumper again as they go up through these S's and give him a draft. I mean, like you said, Mr. English, this is going to be the, oh no, Mike Simone having an issue there in turn one.
Yeah, and turn one is not like all these other turns. Turn one's got a lot of runoff. So does the carousel. So if you overshoot it, even turn 6, you overshoot turn 6, you got a gravel trap there. What about the S's? I mean, that car gets pretty light at the top of them S's. If you mess up there, we saw with Manny Valdez, you can really tear a car up there and get into that guardrail. Not just with the front of your car or the side of the car, but the tail of your car too.
And thankfully, it doesn't look too bad for Mike Simone. His car is relatively intact, even though he did hit that wall relatively hard, as Justin Malarkey has found his way back up to that back bumper of Alan Dixon. So maybe Malarkey just taking a minute to kind of get his groove going here, and now he's going to start maybe trying to work his way through the field.
Malarkey actually has a human spotter today. His teammate Isaac Wilson, so a little bit of an advantage there. He doesn't have to worry so much about.
Sorry, side by side up the S's, Greg Klein and William Brown. This is dangerous as Greg Klein gets around him.
We knew that battle wasn't over. Them guys been after each other.
Oh, as William Brown misses the bus stop, Greg not the cleanest of trips around there, but he got through there a little bit cleaner, so Greg able to kind of slip away in third, and Eric Fiorello is now battling it out with William Brown.
Looks like he might have to wait until another turn here. He might have to wait till back around to turn 1. I'm not sure he's going to get the advantage inside here on turn 7 after this turn 6 that they're in now, but he's Malarkey's around the bus stop. He's able to save it. He didn't hit anything.
As
Man, action all over the track.
all over, as John Neidick, I think, is going to be our first taker that hasn't really crashed yet, and Taver Mowry looks like he is going to... Nope, Taver Mowry is still out there. As so John Neidick, your first person to come down pit lane to take some tires.
Wakefield is just struggling out there. Hit the wall again, but he's pushing it along. Hemlock Grove Farms car.
Yeah, that's 16. When he sees cars coming up behind him, he gets out of the way any way he can to let him around. He's 2 laps down right now with Steve McComas.
I'm sorry, Hemlock Grove Campground car. I get it confused.
So Alan Dixon now coming down pit road. So John Neidick has exited, and not a bad pit time there. So he should be good, I believe, for the end of the race. So I think all these guys only need to pit just the once.
Saw a car around right there in the S's. I didn't see who it was.
Yeah, there's no telling at this point, but
I'm sorry, I missed it, guys.
Pete Van Sprundle, Sneaky Pete, he put his car back together and he's out there clicking laps off.
And Paris slow, and so is the 70.
Oh, as the 25 goes way down into turn 1 and hits that wall, he's backing up onto the track right now. I mean, he's got the room. He's got, like a 24-second gap, and it looks like he might have to tow or get something going here. Let's take a look back at what happened.
No, he's got no hood at the moment.
Doesn't have a hood anymore.
It looks like he just drove kind of straight. I wonder if he had a technical issue there, because it looked maybe like a wheel disconnect or something. We'll take one more quick look at it.
Had that happen before. In fact, you had when you had a wheel overheat one time.
Yeah,
I remember that a couple of years ago.
He just kind of drove straight into the wall. He was turning and then wasn't anymore. So we'll man, as soon as we figure something out with that, we'll let you guys know.
I hope his cat didn't jump on his lap or something crazy like that. Well, things happen.
As William Brown's coming down pit lane right now, so he's gonna take some fresh rubber.
Lance Hill blew the bus stop. He's getting a lot of pressure from behind it. In fact, he got a little bump from Schimmel there going into the carousel.
So that's the other thing with these road courses.
The leader.
That's the other thing with road courses. Not everybody is going to be running the same lap times as you, and
Right.
You're going to catch lap traffic eventually, and it's just a matter of how clean that lap traffic and you kind of get along. And just a little bit of a mistake by a leader right in front of one of those lap cars can spell disaster.
That's right. And Derek wasn't trying to spin the man out. He just kind of trying to hold his line still on the lead lap, and stuff happens, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Lance Hill right now has a 15-second lead over Manny.
You think most of these guys are going to try to make it a one-stop race?
No, there's no way. I thought their tires were getting bad. I don't think so, but
Yeah, I mean, we're getting close. We're coming up on halfway here pretty soon, as Lance Hill has been attacking those curbs in that bus stop.
Look how long pit road is here. And, 45 miles an hour? And it's a long pit road. It runs the whole length of the front stretch. So, I don't know.
As William Brown and Matt Forns almost get into it, as Matt Forns was coming down pit road, and William Brown trying to take that inside of the last corner. So very dangerous entry there, and they managed to figure it out as Eric Fiorello back up to speed, trying to stay ahead of the 8 of John Neidick, and not a whole lot of room given there as John Neidick goes around Eric.
that was rubbing his racing deal there. They both held their line, and it worked out.
Yeah, Nidek up another spot. Up 9 on the evening. We've been talking about him quite a bit, but
Solidly up into
pretty
the
consistent.
solidly up into that top 5. He also does have fresh rubber, so maybe look to see some time gained here on some of the people in front of him. I mean, Taver Mowry having a solid race up there. He's now in 4th position.
Yeah, John's car is super clean. I don't think he's made a mistake yet. Doesn't Taver have a fan club on here? I don't know if we heard from anybody in his fan club.
And Daryl Whitlow on the Facebook saying,
Here comes the 6 down into pit road.
"Oh, as Corey Wakefield having another issue. Let's see what happened here, or if that was just him coming down pit road." Man, the 16 just cannot figure this track out today. Which, I mean, we're allowed to have our off days, and kind of unfortunate for him that that off day is today, as Lance Hill and Manny are both down pit road right now. Greg Klein coming in, as we're fairly close to that halfway mark.
Pits are getting populated. As you were about to say, Daryl Whitlow saying, "Man, we need to throw a competition caution, let everybody kind of close back up," on Facebook. And Justin Barkley pulling for North-South Racing.
Yeah, of course he is, Mr. Macaroni and Cheese.
Yeah, my guy.
Yeah, my guy.
As Lance Hill just coming out in front of Gary Sargent there. So we're waiting to see who comes out where. It looks like Manny is able to come out of the pits pretty well, and so he's going to be in 2nd right now. William Brown just overtook John Nidek for 3rd, so William Brown clawing his way back up. Greg Klein came out. He's now in 6th. So these guys have a little bit of work to do, but Eric Fiorello and Justin Malarkey, as well as Michael Pimpere, all have not pitted yet.
Now, if you're Eric, I mean, how long do you sit in there to try to fix anything? Is the car running okay? I mean, what would you do if you were him?
It does
Take
look,
care of the required and get some new rubber and get the hell out of there as fast as I could.
I mean, it doesn't look like he's slowed down too much. I think there is a little bit of a top speed issue coming out of that machine, as Greg Klein is starting to fly up on him right now.
Aero does affect you, the front stretch and the back stretch. Not so much the rest of the track, obviously, all the turns we have here, but it looks like Wakefield up in the wall again, coming out of the S's on the back stretch, but staying out of the way of the lead lap cars. Man, tough race for Corey. I mean, he's trying to stay out of these guys' way, but he's trying to click off laps, and it's got to be frustrating for him every time he scratches a wall or has to get out of the way for some cars.
And
Comparing Hill right here, Pimpere's not giving an inch.
No, and I mean, that's his right. He's fighting to stay on that lead lap.
Next with a much better line going into 6th there.
Going through that final turn, and the 16 of Wakefield looking as Pimpere's coming down pit road, so that is almost gonna get everybody in that needs it, as Lance Hill has lapped everybody up until 11th. Taver Mowry currently sitting there in 11th because he did pit as well.
25 letting his teammate, the 92, around, Greg Klein. .25 continues to lose a couple positions.
As he now comes down pit road, so we'll see how long he sits in there for, but I think he is down on that top speed, so it's just a question of, can you make up that time that you're going to lose in the pits, or do you just sacrifice any position to get it fixed up as best you can?
Malarkey's crew chief Isaac Wilson telling him to come on in and pit now. So he's taking fresh tires
As
and fuel.
William Brown and John Neidick are almost side by side going into that bus stop. John sending it super deep down through there. William Brown being smart and checked up for it. So John Neidick up into third.
Yeah, he's been doing some good things as of late, so maybe he's on a roll. Oh, it looks like they're still battling though. He's not getting too much ground.
What do you guys think of our first road course race here? As broadcasters in this league, we did one in another league, but what do you think of this group on a road course?
Man, I was a little worried that broadcast might get a little boring here, but no matter where we're at on the track, we have something going on somewhere. So these guys have done fairly well. That's what I'll say. They've done fairly well.
A decent sized field, 18 cars. I mean, 18 cars doesn't sound like a huge field, but they fill up this 2.5 mile course pretty well. There's, like you say, there's action everywhere.
Oh, is Manny Valdez having another issue? Big time wreck.
Oh, man.
Coming through the exit of the bus stop down into that cup carousel. Getting a little loose, tries to save it, a little bit of an overcorrect, and into that tire wall.
He doesn't have a hood either, so he can join the club with the 25 of Eric Fiorello.
The stay running cool club.
Yeah, they're not going to overheat, I wouldn't imagine.
Man, we talked about runoff area, but when you try to correct and it just snaps back on you, it doesn't matter how much overrun you have there. You're going straight nose into the wall. That's what he just did.
So William Brown and the 8 of John Neidick still bumper to bumper going up the S's, running into some lap traffic there. Man, hitting that grass.
That was awesome.
That was the
He
70
did a
of Stephen
jump.
McComas. Oh, now he's stuck in the wall at just about at the top of the hill of those S's. He's going to have to take a tow.
Boy,
but
he
man.
jumped. Man, that was amazing. That was the coolest thing I've seen all night. Huge jump.
Take
on Steve
another quick
McComas.
look at that, deciding to get out of the way, but hitting a little bit of a mound there in the grass and trying to get back on the throttle and not quite. And we had a little bit of a octopus grab from that iRacing wall section.
Octopus grab.
English. Remember that spot on the track? That's a jumper right there.
So Stephen McComas is joining Anthony Fry and Pete Van Spruntel and Corey Wakefield with just let's maybe pack it up for today and go get some beers.
That's a great idea. Oh, man.
Speaking of beers, the Rainier beer car of the 10, Matt Forn's up 9 spots. Pretty solid run for him tonight.
Yeah,
I'd say he's doing real well, but yeah, he'd probably get turned or something. He has a little bit of bad luck at the end of these things.
so Eric Fiorello has come back out on track. He's sitting in 10th, right behind Matt Forns there. He was not in the pits very long, 14.68 pit time, so he just got his tires and fuel and whatever repairs they could at that time done. As William Brown has actually made it back around John Neidick, and Greg Klein has caught these two, so now we got a 3-way battle for third coming up.
Man,
Eric was really hoping for a good finish today. He put in a lot of practice, and the guy's a great road course racer. I'm sure he's pretty disappointed in tonight.
And Corey Wakefield, just add to the misery here, coming into that second to last corner. Just a little too much gas again and into that inside wall. And good job from Derek at avoiding that car as it was sitting across the track.
yeah, dang, it looked like Waco today out there in the traffic, man. These guys are having some issues, but This is not easy. Kind of like I-35.
35 is never fun.
Nah.
Probably Waco, Gatesville, all the way down to, all the way down to Austin and
Austin,
Georgetown,
Fort Worth, Dallas. You don't. I mean, name it.
Buda.
Buda. I spent a night there one time in the county jail. That's not. just kidding.
I thought it looked like the 28 was maybe trying to get a lap back the hard way on Lance as Lance goes riding through the
Lance
grass,
and
able to hang on to it, but the 28's going to try to work on that outside and not be able to get it done. Justin Malarkey's still sitting there trying to get a lap back as well, as they're kind of 3 wide going down that front straightaway. Excuse me.
Yeah, 6 decided not to fight him. He's like, "Hey man, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get into you," and he went ahead and went right and lifted and let him around. So he's got enough of a cushion behind him to the 72 of Manny Valdez that he said, "Hey, you know what? You guys go ahead."
As Greg Klein is side by side with John Neidick right now going down into turn 1.
Man, battles everywhere. Tabor Mowry had some mistakes, and looks like Matt Fornes is going to capitalize on him if he doesn't straighten his act out there.
As we start to come up here on 22 laps to go. Kind of quickly run through your field right now as we got a little bit of a space. Lance Hill, your leader over Manny Valdez, with William Brown and Greg Klein sitting there in 4th. John Neidick in 5th with Mike Simone in 6th. Got the 31 of Alan Dixon in 7th with Tabor Mowry sitting there in 8th. Matt Fornes in a good old 9 position with Eric Fiorello sitting there rounding out your top 10, but you also got Gary Sargent and Justin Malarkey just got their laps back the hard way on Lance Hill. They're going to try to maybe hang on as Derek Schimmel, Mike Pimpere, and Corey Wakefield are either a lap down or laps down. Same thing with Stephen McComas, Anthony Fry, and Pete Van Sprundle.
Looks like Schimmel and Pimpere are both 1 lap down, and Corey Wakefield behind them, 5 down. As he's just kind of running around making some attrition positions right now.
As we take a look back up at Lance, that sweet buffer zone he has ticked away. It's now 6 seconds. What we'll do for right now, though, is kind of give you guys a little break of our voices and take a quick break for station identification. But definitely stick around here, as we don't have that many laps left to go, as we see the 28 there in a gravel pit coming back on track. But we'll be back in just a moment for the rest of this race.
Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Once again, 2 series for us here, the Midwest Days of Thunder Cup Series. Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. It's Rockingham 150 brought to you by Jinx Shifters. Well, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Jason over here, Signature Esports Award.
as we come back to some action. Greg Klein up onto that bumper of William Brown, fighting over that third spot. But Greg Klein, after that pit stop, has made a whole ton of ground. Gap in front of them from Manny to Lance has also come down a little bit more. That's still sitting right around that 5.5, 6 second mark. But Manny is slowly chipping away at that lead. Right now, fourth, third, you've got Greg Klein, John Knight, William Brown, all trying to figure out who's the fastest car here.
Yeah, and this is where patience starts to wear maybe a little thin. If you're behind somebody and you think you're faster and they're not giving you room, this is where you make magic happen.
And it probably helps when I'm speaking to actually speak into my microphone. So,
Yeah.
Greg Klein diving down into the inside of William Brown. Going down into turn one, hard on the brakes. William Brown, Greg Klein, both checking up a lot. Side by side they go. They're getting ready to go up into the S's. As Corey Wakefield has another issue in Greg Klein, probably by a little bit of a benefit of a William Brown lift there, is able to get around. As we take a look back, see what happened with Corey once again. We do appreciate you, Corey, because this has given us something to talk about during the race.
No, I mean, the guy's had bad luck, and he's just trying to stay out of people's ways. You know, and I feel for the guy, man. I've been there many times.
Just a little too much throttle there coming out of one, and that is what will that will get you there. But yeah, Corey Wakefield, not a good night for him. Stephen McComb is still in the pits there. I think I don't know. Did he call it a day yet, or?
Not quite sure. We're gonna have to find out here.
As
He might have. I don't know if his car's running anymore.
As that gap up to first has closed down some more. It's now down to about 3.8. Manny running almost 2-second faster lap there. So Lance with a little bit of an issue that last lap.
12 to go. Next time to go across the stripe here. So not a whole lot of time to calculate out for these guys. So Manny's doing the math in his head. I'm sure he's starting to realize that he may need to pick it up a little bit more if he's got a chance of passing Lance Hill up here in the 6.
I have 18 to go.
Nobody here is good at math. We never claimed to be.
Oh,
Regardless.
hell. Oh, I'm sorry. Golly. I feel like a horse's ass.
Well, you know who wishes it was 12 laps ago? That's Lance Hill, as that gap is slowly coming down. Greg Klein needs to make up, about 10 more seconds to catch up to Manny, but man, these guys are still driving like they stole it, as Eric Fiorello is starting to catch up to the 5 of Tabor Mowry, trying to get up into 8th place from where he had an issue early on, maybe with a wheel disconnect. We'll get some information from that later on to kind of relay that down to you guys.
Yeah, that's a good battle there, Eric Fiorello, the Italian stallion from Arkansas. Yeah, let's mention, I think we've mentioned before, but Mr. English he works on the Louisiana metric system.
Okay.
So, little different. So we don't need to fault him for that.
And speaking of Tabor Mowry, right here running in front of the 25, applications for a replacement broadcaster for Alan English can be sent to the number 5 of Tabor Mowry. Email to follow.
Hey,
is Tabor having a little bit of an issue there?
Jeez.
Eric, great job checking up just in time, as they're almost too wide going up those S's.
That is for position, folks.
And that is for position. Man, Tabor is driving that thing like it's got no wheels left, sliding all the way around the track.
He's doing it for his fan club.
And William Brown and John Neidick both coming down pit road again. So I wonder if they saw what their fuel mileage was looking like and realized, yeah, we're not gonna make it.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna pit twice. And I guess this is their strategy. Strategy's a big thing. Teammates and all that. English, don't be so hard on yourself.
Well, I'm just looking here. Dixon and Sargent are a couple of the guys that pitted at 20. Mike Simone pitted at 19. So those are the guys that were kind of trying to split it a little bit sooner. They knew it was going to be a two-stopper, probably. So they pitted a little bit earlier than these other guys. I wonder if that'll help them.
As Lance Hill, Manny, and Greg, as well as Eric Fiorello, actually a couple laps later. But those guys were pitting on lap 25, which was pretty close to about that halfway mark. So I think it kind of all depends on fuel saving at that point, as I think Greg Klein having a little bit of a connection issue there, maybe because he went black on my screen for a second. But those guys probably are cutting it a little close, but they believe they can make it.
Yeah, Malarkey and Fiorello, that might be what they're doing. They're just out there clicking off laps, trying to stay competitive, but at the same time, they may be doing some short shifting. I did a race here in the Xfinity Series last season and short shifted the whole time, and I saved a ton of fuel. So that might be what some of these guys are doing.
Good battle with Tabor Mowry and Alan Dixon in the Coke Zero car.
And do you see the gaggle of cars sitting behind them too? Holy moly.
Yeah. It's a little... That's kind of what drew my eye to all that,
Getting crowded.
Yeah, and as far as strategy, I would have no clue, to be honest with you. I'm a left turn only person. But I'm learning.
Yeah, that last race we did, I short shifted, I probably saved an additional 3 laps. It was something ridiculous. Something you wouldn't think, but just by not going to second on a couple of turns,
man,
over the long haul.
When Tavor's coming up out of, as both Eric and Tavor get around Alan Dixon, as Eric getting around Tavor, as Tavor maybe takes just a slightly incorrect line through that bus stop. So Eric around Tavor up into 7th, Tavor around Alan Dixon into 8th, and Alan Dixon down into 9th.
And Dixon looks like he lifted again. He's definitely look like he's in save mode.
Tavor's in that bush light for the farmer's machine. Looks pretty sweet, but he's acting like a farmer right now.
There he goes. He's
Plowing
the
the field.
Through the gravel, back onto the track, and he is. I can't say safe and sound because these
Dixon
cars
came in.
As these cars are kind of showing their colors here.
That was good, Adam.
Oh, I got one every once in a while.
He's out there hipping Rose.
Yeah, look at him. He's still loose. He needs tires. Oh, come on, Tabor. Get that thing
I think you're
straight.
right. I think his tires are either overheated or completely gone as Matt Forns now comes up to his bumper. Going up those S's, this has kind of been Tavor's struggle point. His car's not been comfortable exiting here.
Brown looks pretty comfortable flying around that carousel and passing cars in the carousel. Man, he was moving.
Yeah, I'll ride along with Tabor and see if he gets tires here, because if I was him, I think that's what's the problem with his car right now. He's loose still out of that bus stop. Man, he's just pretty sure he's on the tires.
Let's see if he takes this time. He's in the lap 25 pitted crowd, so I don't know.
Mike Simone coming down pit road.
Like Tabor might be coming. Nope.
Yeah, and we've seen this with him before. He just drives them till they're,
Done.
shredded.
Yeah.
You see the.
He did it the Tom Cruise way, not
lumps in
the
him. Yeah.
not the Robert Duvall way. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
he's driving the hell out of them. That's what he's doing.
All right, so what we're going to do right now, though, is going to bring you kind of a virtual camera to give you guys the view. that's the gap between first and second right now, back down to a second and a half. So Manny Valdez catching up to Lance Hill. Don't know if Lance has had some issues. So Manny with the very cool car right now, catching up to Lance.
Wow, he is definitely lurking on him. As that number 6 Wyndham Rewards car is doing everything he can to stay out front, but take care of his rubber.
As he's catching up to some lap traffic right now. That's the 21 of Pimpere and the 16 of Corey Wakefield. Too wide in front of him. So
Yeah,
he's going to have to
side left traffic is bad.
3 wide down that
main
short chute.
roadblock? That's a main roadblock right there.
Is that what it's called in the business? A main roadblock.
It is now.
When you got a Pimpere and a and a Wakefield together.
So Manny trying to pick his way through that group too. He's still stuck behind Pimpere right now. But that gap is now just over a second.
Sorry about all that, Brown. We got excited, man.
I'm getting excited here as we're on 11 laps to go, and it's starting to get down to crunch time. The question is Lance just going a little slower because he's saving fuel, or is Manny just pushing that a little bit harder?
Lance might be one of them guys he's kind of playing the long game. He's playing the slow way. It's Yahtzee. It's not, it's not. You're not playing blackjack here.
Nah, you could be playing poker, you know. Yeah, well, it's gotten a little interesting here, Brown. Now, you're more of a road course guy. Can't speak too much about it, but hopefully we'll see some fireworks.
That's what I'm kind of expecting to see as Lance going through the gravel. We saw Taver go through there, so that's going to give Manny a chance to take the lead, and he almost does as they get into each other side by side through that last turn. Lance being able to hang on maybe via a little bit of contact, but Manny coming down pit road.
Wow, dude. That was wild, wasn't it? But hey, Manny luckily got into pits, and he'll be up there in the end, and he's not going to forget that little bump he got.
Now that's kind of telling you, though, can these guys actually make it if Manny's coming down? Now, we know Manny may not have necessarily been in save mode, so he might have been pushing it a bit. If Lance had that massive lead, he could have saved a whole bunch of fuel. So he might be able to make it. Greg Klein also kind of he's now sitting there in second because he has not pitted a second time yet. He's 12 seconds behind Lance.
And then you got those guys lurking now, like William Brown, John Neidick, on newer tires. See how that kind of plays out.
And newer tires is right. They're running at least a second as Lance Hill coming down pit road. So I don't believe these guys can make it. When will Greg Klein come in for the pits? That is the question.
That was definitely unexpected seeing Lance coming in just now.
Yeah, so Greg Klein, Greg Klein getting that lead lap bonus point.
Yeah, and let's talk about that a little bit. This is a league where bonus points, you can get bonus points for leading a lap, the hard charger, and I think pole position. Do you get an extra lap for that?
Yes.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so, and every point counts in this Midwest Days of Thunder series. This is the premier series of the league. We have ARCA, Xfinity, and Cup, and this is kind of where you want to be if you're moving your way up through the series.
As Lance Hill coming back out onto the track in third. He's got William Brown right behind him. Manny Valdez up 5 seconds up the road on him. So the question is, Greg Klein, can he make it to get his first win here this season? Right now he's sitting in 14th, pretty close to that bubble. So a win here to guarantee himself up into that championship 16, that would be huge.
Yeah, it would be huge. I mean, you've got a couple guys that are going to make their way in on points. I'm not sure that Greg's one of the guys that can do that. He's had a lot of work stuff going on, and he missed a little bit of racing. But, man, a win would do it for him. He takes a little gamble out here and stays out on these older tires. And I'm sure he's playing, like you say, he's probably playing the fuel game.
Yeah, and lap traffic's going to slow him down, and those new tires behind him are going to run him down. So we'll see if they have enough laps to catch him and see if he has enough gas to get through this thing.
As we got about, call it 7.5 laps left to go, as we have an issue right in front of the leader.
Yeah, Taver.
It was Taver and Alan Dixon. I think they both went a little... They looked like Alan Dixon was trying to let Taver by, and they just both couldn't get out of each other's way going through that bus stop. So nothing too crazy there, and it didn't hold up Greg that much, but the time behind is 10 seconds.
Everything sounded pretty cordial on the radio. I think Taver came on and said, "Hey man, my bad. I didn't know what was going on there." And he got into the 31 and kind of sent them both around, but no harm done.
I think it actually helped Greg out. I think he anticipated, he saw it coming, but now he's got to worry about those fresh tires behind him.
Yeah, so Greg running very slow times right now. Kind of like in the 1:18 mark, where Manny last lap ran a 1:14. Lance Hill just putting in a 1:13. So these guys will claw their way back up to him.
Yeah, they're going to make it back to Greg. The question is, did Greg do the right thing by taking the gamble and hoping these guys might do something to themselves behind him? So time will tell.
It looks like two laps or so, and they'll be right on his tail. So we'll see what he does here. I don't know his plan. Angry idiots.
You got a car stopped in the inside wall at the carousel. It looked like the 21.
Yes, and he's still sitting there. Oh, Taver. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, that was Taver. Just barely missing him. Let's kind of see what happened there for Mike Pimpere. Woo! Coming really loose down through there, and not a hard contact. He was able to get out of it okay, which is good to see.
Hey man, at least he waited till the cars came around before he started backing up. Some people don't do that.
As Greg Klein running up that S's right now. 6 laps to go. The gap is now 7 seconds. Greg Klein putting in a better time of 1:16, but still Manny and Lance in the 1:15 and 1:14 mark.
Yeah, he put in a better lap time there, but I don't know if he can stretch it out for 5 laps. But
cars in front of Lance are holding him up.
Yeah, maybe
and
so.
he spins the 16 to Wakefield.
Oh no.
Nix of Hill got impatient and just sent the 16 around. The 16, we've been talking about him. We felt for him. He's been in people's way. He's trying to do the best he can, staying out of people's way. But
as the 16 and the 31 of Alan Dixon were too wide there. As Greg Klein coming down into the pits. So that kind of tells you, I guess you can't make it there on the one stop. As Manny is now going to take the lead. Lance Hill is 4 seconds behind him. Looks like Michael Pimpere having another issue.
Well, Greg gave it the old college try as the 10 gets off right there in turn 1. Giggity.
As Michael Pimpere through the carousel there on the exit, just kind of losing it.
Maury goes around.
As we take a look at the 5 of Taver Mowry.
The 8 sent him around, I think.
I think they're related, so
yeah.
This may be from years past. I don't know.
We'll talk about it at Thanksgiving table and throwing cranberry sauce at each other, maybe.
Yeah.
So Greg Klein has come out just in front of that 8. So Greg Klein in 4th. He's got to fight back and find 10 seconds to make his way back up into a top 3.
That's rough.
That's going to be kind of difficult. I think he waited just a little too long to maybe take that fuel.
Well, it's a gamble, you know. The risk versus reward thing, we talk about it a lot, but if things went in his way and the 6 and the 20 or the 6 and the 72 may have gotten into each other or something, you know, he would have been fine. But that's a risk you got to take sometimes when you're kind of behind the 8 ball.
As we're here now with 4 laps to go, the gap between Manny and Lance, the gap between 1st and 2nd, 3.8 right now. William Brown's pretty securely there in 3rd as long as nothing crazy happens. I believe that's where he is going to be finishing here today. As Derek Schimmel and, excuse me, well, not Derek Schimmel, but Taver, maybe? No, nah, they've got some action going on, and I have no idea who is doing what.
Yeah, seeing a lot of these cars that are 1 lap down fighting for position because those positions matter too. They're still fighting each other for position. There's 4 cars right now a lap down as the 5 Maori goes around in the bus stop. He's in the grass,
Yeah,
trying to hold on to it.
Yeah, he's not having the best race, but hey, he's still out there. Talking about still
He's
out there.
trying.
Sneaky Pete Van Sprundle out of New York. This home track, I thought no way he could grab his weight out of last place, but he has. So he's putting in the laps, and he's passed Steve McComas, so he'll at least make 17th place in this thing.
And mathematically, he could make a couple more spots here, I think. As he's got Tony Fry on the same lap as he. So we'll see.
As Manny and Lance with 3 laps to go, gap down to 2.7. So we might see a last corner ditch effort here from Lance as this thing's coming to the end. As Corey Wakefield having another issue. As John Neidick is trying to catch up to the back bumper of Greg Klein. And, you know, we've seen him a lot today. Let's see what Corey Dunn did.
I wanted to say one thing before we wrap up tonight. Those of us who have been following the news and for the last 20 years, saw some really bad stuff go down yesterday on the other side of the world. And just keeping your thoughts and prayers tonight. All the families that got that knock on the door from a service chaplain and an officer, coming to notify families of lost service members. So just keep them in your thoughts and prayers tonight, as those guys got a tough job over there right now.
That indeed, as Manny's gap over Lance has come down to a 1.5 seconds going in through that bus stop. For the second to last time, they've only got one more lap after this one. Has got a little bit of a lap traffic of Justin Malarkey. He's going to do a gentleman thing of move over to the side and let Lance through. So that gap is down to just under a second. And holy moly, you know what it's time to do.
Get one now.
It's time to buckle up, strap on that drinking helmet, and throw inhibition out that window, because we are coming to this white flag.
Yeah, Greg Klein and John Neidick are still fighting back here.
Yeah, they're back there in the
4th and 5th position. Yeah,
carousel
they're
back
fighting
there,
as well.
I think.
So down through turn 1. Both cars relatively smooth through there, heading up into the S's. Manny still holding on to that lead over Lance. Lance pushing that car as hard as he can, trying to come up to that bumper. He's got a little bit of a draft help over on Manny here, going down this long straightaway, down into that bus stop, braking very late. And he's right there on that back bumper of the 72. He's going to give it a little bit of a nudge side by side down into that carousel. So 2 wide, rubber to rubber racing we got going on as Lance just sneaks around Manny there, coming down the short chute into the penultimate corner. They're going to have some lap traffic here, running a little bit of an issue, but they seem to get through that first car okay.
Manny got loose.
As Manny gets loose, Corey Wakefield's now going to be on that outside of that 6 with Manny going really hard, and he loses it
Into the pits.
down into that pit wall.
Hill.
So Lance Hill picking up the win here today. Manny Valdez is kind of stuck on that pit wall. I don't
He's
know.
gonna put it, finish in reverse.
Manny's going to try to finish this thing in reverse.
Good on you, Manny.
So Manny in reverse finishes with William Brown hanging on to finish in third. Still have some racing going on as Greg Klein and John Neidick have a little drag race going down that front straightaway with Greg Klein finishing there in fifth.
You couldn't ask for a better finish than that.
You also got a little bit of a battle here left to go for 6th and 7th as well, as Mike Simone is on that back bumper of the 25 of Eric Fiorello coming down into that second and last corner. As Mike Simone looking to make a dive up that inside, it looks like he will get it almost done. Side by side they go.
Oh!
Eric just having to go a little bit wide, so Mike Simone is going, looks like he will take that position, and Eric will have to settle for 7th.
Eric's on such much older tires. He was on the one-stop strategy, with Malarkey, and just couldn't quite get there.
And,
Good effort, though,
I think he
man.
might even be out of fuel as he kind of coasts across the line. But, man, talk about a finish between Lance and Manny.
Yeah, no kidding, man. And he finishing in reverse. I've never seen anything like that. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was some Days of Thunder stuff there. That was pretty cool.
That was some Talladega Nights stuff right there.
Either way, yeah. That was cool. I think he was,
That was
he was
great.
pushing it so hard, and there was a lap car there, and it kind of got picked by the lap car. But hey, man, kind of stuff happens.
You're right.
Yeah, so what we'll do is we will first start with our second place finisher, and that would be Mr. Manny Backwards Valdez, probably doing the smart thing, throwing it in reverse and coming down pit road there.
That's a last ditch effort right there. I was trying to give it everything I had, but Lance, that dude was fast, and every single lap he beat me through the bus stop. I'm not sure. He was braking on like the 4, and I was braking at the 6. The markers on the side, and I don't know how he did it, but he was really moving through that bus stop. I tried to block through the carousel. I couldn't hold low because I hit the curb. But then Lance got me, and then I tried to do something in the last couple turns, but I got loose, and then obviously I got loose coming out the final turn, and just I was like, well, you know what? We'll put her in reverse and just go down pit road this way.
Effort is the exact word that I was looking for, because not just on the reversing to the finish line, but I mean, you were missing a hood for the last half of the race, and you still caught up to Lance and damn near took the win away from him. So, man, what a great effort today. Yeah, that's the defining word for you today is effort, because you put it in, definitely.
Yeah, thanks a ton, Alan. That was I'm just happy with a P2, considering I wrecked twice. I have no idea how I even got close to the lead during that race. I know Lance and Sargent had something go on towards the middle of the race, but even still, that's I can't tell you how I caught him there.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of people were having issues, and you had yours, but you persevered and went backwards, which was awesome. We'll be watching that one for a little bit and remembering it for sure. But what was your thought? I noticed that last lap, the little fender exchange with you and Lance. I know you were trying to get in there, but it was real clean. But were you trying to turn him, Manny?
I was just trying to, get on his right rear and see if I could slow him down or get him loose, something like that, just to give me any type of run going into the last couple turns. And obviously, he ended up getting a better drive off because of it, because I kept his back end actually, sitting back there because he got loose. But me being there, it actually it helps keep him from spinning himself out.
You gotta practice that pit maneuver.
I do. I need to figure out how to do that a little bit better, huh?
Yeah, that's a good job though, man. Heck of a race by you.
Yeah, thanks a ton, y'all. That was really fun.
Yeah, and next week is kind of like the last week until we have an off week and a big push. Now, of course, you've already got a couple wins here, so you're safely into that championship. But how important are these next few races coming up?
These next races are definitely really important, not just for me, but for everybody, because I mean it's winning you're in, like the real format. So for a lot of people, there's going to be, I'm pretty sure there's a super speedway coming up. Let me actually check the schedule now. Yeah, we got Indy, which is always kind of a toss up because that's a tricky track. Rockingham, Dover, North Wilkesboro, Road America, Talladega are just some of the tracks coming up, not in that order, but just in general for the next month or two. So there's going to be a lot of spots for people to try and get their win, lock themselves in, or just have good points nights. Like I know William Brown tonight, he just qualified third, finished third. He just held his spot. That's a great points night for him. So it should help him a lot for the playoff.
All right, Manny. Well, again, congratulations on the second, a hard-fought second there. Excuse me. And we wish you the best of luck in the future here, man. We'll see you later.
Thanks a ton, y'all. Have a great night.
You too, man.
And excuse me. Swallowed a bug or something. Jeez. So we'll now move slightly down that leaderboard and talk to our third place finisher here, and that would be Mr. William Brown. And I gotta say, man, you drove a pretty solid race, and a little bit of a pit strategy there, I think, got you a solid third place finish. What'd you see for action out there?
I saw all kinds of action. Me and Greg Klein and even John Nidek there, we all went back and forth, probably swapped places at least a dozen times. We never really got more than a second or two apart, except for when we pitted on different strategies. I didn't see very many different people, as far as lead lap was concerned, but I saw a lot of those guys, and it was a real big. It was a good time.
I tell you what,
run with those guys.
Our camera pretty much stayed on you three guys for, what do you guys think? Maybe a third of the race. We were watching the Klein, Nidek, and Brown show. I mean, you guys were definitely fighting hard, and some of y'all kind of stayed on similar pit strategies and wanting to kind of stretch things out, and y'all managed your tires very well, you and Greg and John. So kudos to y'all. And what are you looking forward to next week here?
Oh shoot! Next week, I can't even remember what track it is next week. Can you mail me out here?
Indy.
The oval or the road course here?
I believe it's the oval.
Oh, I love Indy. It's a tricky track, very low banking. 4 actual turns, not 2 turns with 4 corners. It's actually 4 corners. You got people who are going to really benefit from knowing how to save their tires at Indy. It's a lot of drafting on the straightaway, but the turns can really mess up people who burn their tires up, put a lot of pressure on them and heat. They're going to suffer and they're going to notice it.
I think it's going to be awesome next week to watch that, because it's going to take a lot of skill. But tonight took a lot of skill. And what lap were your tires feeling rough, where you thought, man, this is going to be a struggle? At what point did you get to that?
The first run, before I pitted the first time, I think I went about 22 laps, and they were feeling pretty rough after lap 20. They got pretty hot. You're getting loose coming out of some turns. Your braking points need to back up a little farther because you're a little tighter on the entry, especially in 1. Turn 1 was starting to get a lot harder to enter into on that long run. So the run after that, I went to about 18 laps, and it felt pretty good. And then ran another 18 lap stint to finish it out. So I'd say 20 is when it started to hurt.
Well, whatever you did it right. You should be real happy with the P3. That's going to move you up in the points, and you're going to be sitting pretty here. Another couple good races. You're going to be looking good.
Yeah, I'm very happy with the way this turned out today, coming out with a podium. I don't usually do that here at the road courses.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
Hamilton, Ohio's own William Brown, man. Congrats.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
and speaking of congratulations, that would be congratulations to Mr. Lance Hill picking up win. Get this, number 4 on the season, having a heck of a comeback after a kind of unfortunate event at the end there at Martinsville, but getting some retribution here today with the win. And Lance, I got to tell you, man, everyone made mistakes out there, but you were A, very quick, and B, you made very, very few mistakes.
Yeah, there was a few times there at the end I was trying to save a little bit of fuel, clutching it in them corners, and I was having to use my right foot to press the brake pedal, and I realized that foot ain't as strong as my other one, and there was a few times I might have went off the racetrack there in those last 2 corners, but other than that, I mean, this racetrack's awesome. It's fast. It's easy to make mistakes, don't get me wrong, but somehow I managed to bypass the mistakes and not make them.
It's probably my favorite road course, not just to watch, but to race as well. And definitely congratulations on first place, Colin and AJ and Miss Vicky. We're all cheering for you on YouTube today, and it was an amazing thing to watch you today. Just run away with it, and I tell you what, though, you had to have been worried watching that relative. I know Manny didn't have a hood, but he was running you down, it looked like.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him, but I don't know if he got wrecked or spun out and hit the wall or what happened there. But yeah, I managed to get a pretty good lead, and I realized I think like a 23-second lead there at the end, and I knew I wasn't going to make it on fuel, and I had to I was going to try and just save a little bit because I was only like 0.5 to the good, and I was going to try and extend that gap a little bit so maybe I could, go without pitting that second time. But I was definitely worried that he was going to end up catching me because it seemed like to me he wasn't saving, and I guess he wasn't with him making that pit stop there at the end.
Were you doing any short shifting? I've done that quite a bit here just to kind of, just in a couple of corners, just to go down to third instead of second, maybe in the carousel or maybe in sixth to try to save a little fuel. Did you do any of that today, or was it pretty straightforward?
There was one point where I think I was running third gear most of the time in the corners where I'd usually maybe be running second. Like in the bus stop and the carousel, I was usually shifting to second, but I was shifting to third. Sometimes not even getting out of fourth in some corners, just trying to keep them RPMs low and keep that fuel usage low.
Yeah, well, next week, you're going to be in fourth gear a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you feel? How do you feel about that track, Indy Oval? I mean, that's a challenge. That's not your regular NASCAR track. So, what do you feel about what's going to happen next week?
Yeah, it's going to be a very fun race. I feel like Indy has always been a fun track to me. It's really flat, kind of tight, but also loose at some points. I feel like there's going to be some clutching there. Not going to lie, just trying to save some fuel there at the end, or just trying to make pit stops a little bit differently than everyone else. And yeah, I'm highly excited. I think it's going to be very fun.
Yeah, congrats, man. The Wheelman, Lance Hill.
Yeah, definitely earning that name here today. Now, before we let you go real quick, we know that you're part of Latte, and Latte coming up with a 1-3 finish. You guys were already, parked there in the first position in the team standings, but the Angry Idiots aren't too far behind. How important are the next few races coming up as we enter this kind of closing stretch to that championship, and the races are running out?
They're going to be very important. We just got as a team all together do our best to try to do our best just to get good finishes for everybody, and with us having Rockingham coming up after Indy and Las Vegas, it's going to be some tracks. Las Vegas is going to be pretty much pack racing almost at that track. It's not going to get very spread out. So I feel like my teammates can really advance from that. And like Tabor or Joe, I don't know how far back William is in points, altogether as a whole. But I think these next few races are going to be very good for us.
All right, man. Well, again, congrats on win number 4. Obviously, securely up in there in that solo championship, and probably one of the front runners for a championship. We look forward to seeing the rest of the season and wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Thank you, guys. Can I do some shout-outs real quick?
Oh yeah.
Shut.
All right, I want to give a shout out to y'all for broadcasting, my entire family for being here and let me do what I do right here, and my friends out there, AJ and Colin, for supporting me, my entire family for supporting me also, for letting me buy stuff that may be a little bit expensive, but yeah, I think that's about it. But just thank you guys also for broadcasting.
Awesome,
We enjoy
man.
it, man. Good, fun to watch you.
I enjoy to go back and watch them.
All right, we'll catch you later.
All right, see you, man.
Whoo, doggy dog. Were you guys expecting that from a road course or what?
And I didn't know it was going to be that close at the end, to be honest with you. I thought we were going to end up with a runaway. I just didn't know who was going to be doing the running away. But I'm glad it ended up kind of close at the end. We had battles in the middle of the lead lap with Klein and Neidick and Brown and Mike Simone and Eric Fiorello and Malarkey there. But even some battles on the guys that were one lap down. So action all over the track all night. This is by far my favorite road course. Not just, like I said, not just to drive, but just to broadcast this and watch. It was a blast.
Yeah, no, I wasn't surprised. The Midwest Days of Thunder guys always put on a good show, and there's no fighting in the hollers. There's no fireworks tonight. Kind of a bummer for me personally, but it was good, clean racing. But it was fun to watch. They put on a good show, and yeah, I had a good time watching it, and can't wait for next week.
Yeah, so we will now do your final finishing position for everyone here today. We got the 6, Lance Hill picking up win number 4 over Manny Valdez, driving backwards there on pit road to finish in 2nd. William Brown with a solid run, starting in 3rd and finishing in 3rd. He had a great run today. Greg Klein also with a good run, finishing there in 4th. Got the 8 of John Neidick tied for our Hard Charger Award of the night, finishing there in 5th up 9 positions. Red Stick Mike Simone finishing there in 6th with Eric Fiorello, I think, running out of fuel on that last lap there to finish in 7th. Got the 7-3 of Justin Malarkey having a nice comeback. He was kind of down in the down there in the leaderboard earlier on in the race, but fought back for a solid 8th place finish. Matt Forns is the other guy tied for the hard charger of the race. He is up 9 positions to finish there in 9th, with Alan Dixon with a I'm going to say probably a calm, cool, collected top 10 finish for him.
Since No Toad Motorsports teammate Gary Sargent in the 28th, finishing 11th. The boss man, number 5, Tabor Mowry, finishing in 12th for Neidick Racing. The Angry Idiot himself, Derek Schimmel, in the 96, finishing 13th. And Michael Pimpere in the 21 for Bash Brothers, finishing 14th place.
Yeah, Corey Wakefield, right behind him, 15th. Anthony Fry, 16th. My man, number 80, Sneaky Pete Van Sprundel, out of New York. He fought his way up to 17th from sitting in the pits for so long. And then number 70, Stephen McComas, had a rough night and 18th place.
Man, that says cheer.
We definitely thank you all for tuning in to today's race, brought to you by the Kitschy Kitchen Shop. Go ahead, check them out on Etsy, and I believe they have a Facebook page. Kind of see what they're all about. If you need to glamify or color up your kitchen attire or anything like that, definitely go check them out. But for all of us here at Watkins Glen, after a action-packed race, we're tired and we're ready to get out of here and go grab a beer. So until the next race, which I believe will be Monday night with the Xfinity cars at another road course, we're headed to Road America there. So you definitely don't want to miss that one, with the possibility of 35 plus cars out there on a road track. But that is on Monday. But for tonight, that is it. I'm Alan Brown, signing off for Alan English and Adam Turner. Have a great night.
And thanks once again to Derek and Rhiannon Schimmel for sponsoring this race, and their Etsy site, Kitschy Kitchen Shop. They got a bunch of cool aprons and stuff, and just go check them out. Just take my word for it. If there's somebody on your list that's hard to shop for, just go down there. You'll find something for them. And with that, we go.
Yeah.